Well, hi, crafty friends. This is Rhonda from Rhonda's Craft Room. I am back today with another video and to show you some beautiful cards that I have made. I'm also going to show you a couple of different techniques that I really like. I made these cards using the new Close to My Heart Christmas Floral Embossing Folder and Stencil Set. This set can be found in our new September-October book. It's on page 46. One of the most beautiful items I've ever had. It's definitely my favorite product in this book. Kind of one of those must-haves in your craft room. Who doesn't like embossing folders? Everybody loves a nice embossing folder. And this one just happens to have coordinating stencils. There's 3 stencils. Let me see if I get a piece of cardstock out here. You might be able to see these better on. Oh yeah. This is the one that does the petals and the little berries. And then you have another one that gives you your veins in your petals and these little sprigs. It also does the veins in the leaves. And then the third one does the leaves and the twigs and the center of the flowers. My first video I did here on YouTube was a video on how I made this particular card right here. This one I did in with embossing powder. So you not only have a raised image from the embossing folder, but you also have a better raised image because I embossed it. And I actually embossed it 3 separate times to give it this nice, thick lift on the card. The little sparkles, you can see I use stickles. I use Ranger Diamond Stickles. Isn't that pretty? Favorite. I think this is everybody's favorite. But to be honest with you, I really like this one. I really love these colors for winter, Christmas. I just think they're super, super pretty. I'm going to give you a little rundown on colors that I used. So this one here is the first one I made. And of course, traditional Christmas, right? This one I used, I had all my colors out here. We have Scarlet, Desert Rose, Pine, and Honey Butter. So what I did is I used my stenciling brushes, and I started out with this Desert Rose. Went through the stencil, and then I thought, it's not quite dark enough. But I did the whole flower in Desert Rose. And then I went back with the Scarlet, and I just did in the center to give it that nice depth, nice color. Those 2 colors really complement each other. And then the leaves are done in pine. And I also did the stems and everything in pine. I did a very light pine on these leaves. And then I went back with the other stencil to do the vines, and I just did a darker, just went over it darker. And then the centers are done in honey butter. On all of my cards, I've done the centers with the honey butter. In the background, I have a piece of wood grain paper from one of the current paper packs. I think this one might be from the mix-in. I'd have to get the papers out to really show you that, but that's not what this video is about today, so I'm not going to do that today, but it is one of the current paper packs in this book. There's 3. So that was the first card that I made, and I just loved it. And then I went back and I made this one, and I just love these colors. This one I did Harbor for the flowers, and again I used my brush, dark in the center, and then I just very lightly went out, you know, without re-inking, and did the outsides of the flowers to, you know, make that darker in the center. And then I used, and I did it really light on these sprigs too. And then I used mocha to do the twigs. And then I used mist to do the leaves. Some of them have some mist on these. I wasn't real careful about putting that on. I like the organic look where it doesn't look so specifically done in one color or another. And then I did the veins and stuff in the mist too, and I just did it darker. And then again, I put the stickles on the berries. I put stickles on all of my berries. I just think they look so pretty. This background and where I got the inspiration for these colors is one of our papers in the Good Life. It's a striped paper, and the colors are mocha and harbor and mist. And then there's some French vanilla and I don't know, maybe another color. But I just thought that was really pretty, and that's exactly where I got my inspiration for the colors on this one. The insides of my cards, I always put at least a piece of cardstock on the inside, and then maybe some little decoration down here. And this one, I just used a piece of scrap from the paper that I've used on the outside here. And then I usually put some cute little flower or something up here. There'll be something Christmassy up here. I never mail these out without something there. And sometimes I do something prettier on the inside. It's shape or something, but for these I didn't. I just put some cardstock in them. Oh, and the other thing I do is after I get my coloring all done, then I take one of the colors, in this case it was mocha, and I use a blending brush and I smooth around all the way around the outside to give this a nice finished look on the outside. It just gives it a nice, I don't know, almost a glow. This one I used the scarlet to go around it. And then after I made those two, I was asked to make a fall one. So here's my fall card. And didn't that turn out pretty? So it's a poinsettia, but you know, hey, it's fall colors. And super, super pretty. For this one, I used paprika for my flowers. And I can't remember if I used a lighter color on the outside edge. I'm thinking I did, but I don't know. Maybe I used papaya and then paprika in the centers. It's been a while, so I honestly do not remember which color gave me that light effect. I think I used something lighter, though, than paprika. I don't know if I would have been able to get paprika that light for the outsides. And then for the leaves in this one, I used sage. And then I went back, I used the mocha on the twigs again. And then I went in with Sundance and gave it more of a fall yellow. Rather than the honey butter in the center is a light yellow. For the twigs and then the veins in my leaves, I used the Sundance. And then the sticker I got was from one of the paper packs from the last catalog, Crisp Air, or no, what was that called? Cozy Up. Cozy Up. And I think that's still available. It's a really pretty fall paper pack. And this was on the sticker sheet. And I thought, oh, how perfect. And then this is one of our zip strips or branding strips that's going across here. I felt like my pumpkin needed something to land on, so I put a zip strip across there. And the Autumn Blessings is from an old stamp set that I have. And then, sorry if you just heard that crunch, I got a cough drop in my mouth. And then the paper in the back here is from one of the current mix-ins also, and it's a mocha flavor, patterned, kind of a plaid. And I thought that was nice on the outside, and then I went around the outside of this card with mocha also. This one is done in the Mist and Glacier, and then just the honey butter for the centers, and then I embossed this in white, which if you want to see how I emboss this, you can watch my first video that's on YouTube, and that's a tutorial of how I made this card. Now the other thing I want to show you today is if you're not one of those people that like to get inky and stencil, you can buy the embossing folder and the stencils separately. So you don't have to buy the whole set. You can get either one that you want. And so I wanted to show you some things that you could do with this embossing folder by itself. And I want to see, can you see what the embossing folder looks like? Maybe like that. It's super nice. Our embossing folders are like 5 3/4 by 6 3/4, I think. No, it's 4 1/2 by 5 3/4. So it's bigger than the general A2 size card. So what I did is I took several pieces of our cardstock. Now Close to My Heart's cardstock all has a white core. And so I thought this would be perfect for this embossing folder. This one is Mist, and I just ran it through the embossing folder, and then I went over it with a piece of fine, not super fine, but you know, pretty fine sandpaper. And it brings out that white core, so you get that nice dimension. And that would just be a pretty background for your card like that. And then of course I'll decorate it up. This one is one I did in Sapphire. Isn't that pretty? I just love it. And then I did one in black. I wanted to see what it would look like in black. And I think that this is going to make a super, super pretty card. And now I was playing with some smaller pieces of cardstock, and just because I had some scraps and I just wanted to see what colors would look nice. And I did this yellow and green. And although I think they look really pretty together, I decided that I would do a red and green. So half of my card's going to be red, or maybe 2/3 of my card will be red, and the other part will be this pretty green. And then of course I'll put something where the divide is. And then I just wanted to real quickly show you how easy it is to show that white core. Like I said, just, you know, kind of a medium fine sandpaper, and very lightly, just very lightly sand over it. Now these little twigs are, I think they raise up a little bit farther than the petals do. So you barely have to touch them and the centers of those flowers, and that white core comes off. So you could just do that. So it's barely touching those flowers. So I'm just highlighting basically these other pieces. But if you want it all to have some white core, then you just got to do it a little bit harder around the flowers. Just press down a little bit more. And it's the same with these holly leaves. You just got to press down a little bit more. And I'm really pressing on this pretty hard. Now, don't do this on top of your nice cutting mat or your, if you have a all-purpose mat, don't do that sanding on that. It'll ruin them. You have to just do it on a piece of scrap paper, and then it's easy to knock that off. And I just knock it off into my thing. But isn't that pretty? Won't that be a pretty card? So I'm excited to make some cards, and I'm not going to do that today, of course, but I just wanted to show you what I've done. I've also cut one out in Glacier, and I have one in white here. So I'm going to make some cards without the stenciling, and I will show those in a different video so you can see how pretty they turn out. I have some really great ideas. So, first of all, in the comments, let me know which one of these do you think is the prettiest? Red, sapphire, black, or mist? Excuse me. And then let me just get a little sip of water. And then I really want to know, excuse me, which one of these is your favorite? Traditional, blues, whites, or fall? Oh, I'm so sorry. I have a tickle. So I'm going to end this video. And I hope you all have a great day, great night, and a perfect weekend. And don't forget to like my video, if you like it, of course. And subscribe to my channel would really, really help me out. I'm just getting started. And I really need some help here. And leave me a comment. I would really appreciate knowing what you think about these cards. Thank you and have a great day. And thanks for watching. Bye.